Alright folks, and welcome back for another round of the Grumpy Sysadmin's Delightful Wisdom. Life is a chaotic mess. We all know that. But for now, let's shine a disgruntled spotlight on the most tedious yet crucial chore of the digital realm. Backing up your damn data. I know, I can practically hear the synchronized yawns, but bear with me as we reluctantly dive into this labyrinth of digital safeguarding. Now picture the digital apocalypse, a hardware meltdown, or software catastrophe, or worse, that nightmare of nightmares, unintentional file erasure. We've all stumbled into that pitfall, haven't we? Your lifetime's masterpiece, your painstakingly collected mean hoard, or your illicit stash of grandma's cookie recipes, all blasted into oblivion with one careless click. But don't think we're done there. The dark, dank corners of the internet are teeming with a rogues gallery of monsters, malware, cryptoviruses, and the sort of digital devils that keep your antivirus software up at night. They infiltrate your systems, annihilate your cherished files, and transform your digital paradise into a desolate wasteland. But don't go throwing your hands up in despair just yet. Unless you've been living under a rock and haven't safeguarded your digital assets in that mind-numbingly, boringly sanctuary called backups. And oh, what a rich tapestry of tedium these backup options provide. The thumb drive, as a tiny digital trooper that's as easy to misplace as your keys. The external hard drive, the thumb drive's bulky, neglected cousin sitting in a drawer somewhere collecting dust. And the NAS device, or as I like to call it, I'm too fancy for my own good cloud. And then there's the trusty cloud backup, ever ready to spring into action. Unless, of course, your Wi-Fi decides to play hooky. There's an old saying, there are two kinds of people in the world. Those who have common sense to back up their data, and those who are one delete key away from a nervous breakdown. Morbid humor? Maybe. But it's about as close to the bone as you can get. Skipping backups is basically inviting a digital disaster to tea. Just like any gripping tale of survival and resilience, your data stands at the epicenter of the plot. It holds the same weight as that hollowed collection on your study shelf, the glittering accolades in your trophy case, or the rare vintage wines hibernating in your wine cellar. We all have wine cellars, right? These prized possessions aren't just objects. They're extensions of your identity, and you guard them with a relentless, almost ferocious tenacity. Think about your home, that sturdy bastion of security and comfort. You safeguard its legal deed in a fortified steel fortress known as a safe deposit box. And so it should be with your data, your digital lifeline in this modern saga of man versus machine. It's not just about safeguarding it, it's about surviving the onslaught of the unexpected, standing tall amidst the chaos, and preserving the essence of your digital existence. So let's dive into the thrilling world of backups, shall we? First on the docket, let's dissect the where. Two arenas here, online and offline, which, contrary to popular belief, are not just a millennial's relationship status. The biggest difference between these two, apart from the names, obviously, is their availability. Online backups are like that eager-to-please friend, constantly available at your every beck and need and call. Need to recover your accidentally deleted vacation photos at 2 a.m.? No problem. Online backup is there, dutifully waiting your command. Offline backups, on the other hand, are more like your laid-back, semi-retired uncle. Sure, they'll get the job done, but they like to take their sweet time, savoring each moment, and they might require a little cajoling. Read effort from your end to get into action. Can't rush perfection, they'll say, as you impatiently drum your fingers, waiting for your files to restore. And let's not even mention the extra steps involved. But hey, who doesn't enjoy a bit of workout in the middle of a data recovery operation, right? In the bustling metropolis of data security, online backups are the shining skyscrapers. They're the embodiment of the phrase on the go, catering to those of us who demand instant, seamless access to our digital assets, regardless of time, place, or the latest trending latte. Now let's dive into this concept a bit deeper, because it's not as easy as tweeting your breakfast choice. We're talking thumb drives, external hard drives, NAS devices, and other on-premise physical media. In other words, our digital soldiers on the front line of data backup. A thumb drive, despite its humble size, is an unestimated superhero, a David in the face of Goliath that is data loss. It's like carrying your digital life in your pocket. However, it also can be easily misplaced, so you better keep an eye on it. Then we have external hard drives, the thumb drive's burlier cousin. Think of it as a keeper of your digital diary, holding terabytes of your personal or professional journey. It is a bit bulkier, a bit weightier, but its reliability makes it a crowd favorite. Up next is our personal favorite, the NAS device. This is like your personal high-tech treasure chest, a place where you can keep a stash of everything that digitally defines you. It's not just storing, it's networking on your terms in your home. Think of it as your personal bank vault, except it's in your living room and doesn't hold stacks of cash. All of these, my friends, are facets of the gem we call online backups. They are your reliable guardians in the tumultuous world of data loss. But remember, each has its quirks and requires your understanding, care, and on occasion, a stern talk about doing its job right. Offline backups are the old world charm in the bustling city of data. They're like those handwritten letters stored in a trunk in the attic, protected from the ravages of time and whims of the Wi-Fi signal. These backups add an extra layer of security that assures your data is safe, even if your local system decides to take an unannounced vacation. Now, the crown jewel of offline backups is the majestic creature known as cloud backup. Imagine a safety deposit box, impervious to the fickle tantrums of nature or the calculated heists of thieves, hovering somewhere in the nebulous realm we call the cloud. This box holds a mirror image of your data, ready to step in and restore normalcy in the wake of fires, thefts, malware, or even zombie apocalypses. Because you never quite know. Cloud backup, quite simply, is your data's superhero costume, ready to be donned when disaster strikes. It's the disaster recovery plan for the everyday user, turning potential catastrophes into minor inconveniences. Oh, your house flooded! No worries, your 10 years worth of family photos are enjoying the dry, controlled climate of the cloud. Malware thinks it erased your painstakingly curated music playlist. Well, think again, you pesky virus. The cloud backup has an encore ready. Offline backups, then, are your digital stronghold for fortifying your data against the unpredictability of life and the sometimes overzealous efforts of malware. Remember, they may not be as flashy as their online counterparts, but when the going gets tough, offline backups are a knight in shining armor for your data. So you see, online backups are like your best friend, always there to pat you on the back when you, due to some inexplicable brain glitch, replace the magnum opus of a 2,700-page novel you've been chipping away at for decades with Aunt Gertrude's prized cookie recipe. Online backups, wave a wand, and voila! Your decades worth of blood, sweat, and writer's block is back on your desktop right where it belongs. On the other hand, offline backups are your emergency parachute when your machine gets locked up tighter than Fort Knox. And I'm not talking about a friendly neighborhood padlock here. Think digital Fort Knox on a heavy dose of steroids. It's like your computer's taken hostage and there's only one way out. The golden mantra of data protection isn't complex or cloaked in mysterious technical jargon. Back up your data often. How often, you may ask? Well, if the daily tasks like brushing your teeth or swapping out yesterday's undies are engraved in your routine, think of data backup as akin to your weekly laundry ritual. If you're somewhat on the edge of paranoia, or arguably on the crest of wisdom in my unabashedly partial view, daily data backups might be your thing. The rule of thumb here isn't etched in silicone, but rather how much data loss can you digest before the digital indigestion kicks in. If surrendering a week's worth to the abyss merely makes you grumble like a bear disturbed during its hibernation, then a weekly backup may suffice. However, if the mere thought of that churns your stomach more violently than a scoutmaster trying to untangle the Gordian knot, then, my friend, backups are your peace offering to the digital deities. There's no definitive right or wrong answer. No binary zeros and ones. It's all about what syncs with your circumstances and keeps your digital pulse steady. So tailor your backup strategy like you would a suit to fit you perfectly, with a little room to breathe. After all, it's your data we're talking about. Well, what if the worst happens? What happens when calamity strikes, you wail, your voice trembling with the fear of losing your precious data? What if my data decides to pull a Houdini on me? Well, in such unfortunate scenarios, you'll need to summon the data recovery experts. Those are the digital sleuths, akin to Sherlock Holmes with a magnifying glass pointed at the dark recesses of your hard drive. Yet brace yourself, for this process can be as costly as that swanky espresso machine you've been eyeing. And let's be clear, there's no guarantee of success. These experts might be impressively skilled, sniffing out data trails like bloodhounds, but alas, they haven't attended Hogwarts. They might weave complex codes, not spells. So remember, while they might work wonders, miracles are not a part of their job description. Finally, you know what really makes me grumpy? Backup neglect. Nothing annoys me more than the moment a computer or program takes a nosedive and suddenly it dawns on you, you forgot to save that file you were working on. Or that person who's been blithely ignoring that ominous clicking noise emanating from their computer for the past month, hoping it would magically vanish. Well, I have a newsflash for you. The noise stopped, not because of some magical self-repair, but because their hard drive just bit the dust. And then they fixed their puppy eyes on me, expecting me to swoop in like some technical wizard and somehow revive their 17 years of memories, all conveniently stacked on the very same doomed hard drive that is now as useful as a chocolate teapot. Of course, they were just about to jump on the online backup bandwagon, but apparently time slipped through their fingers. Listen up, everyone. This should be a massive wake-up call to you. If you're under the delusion somehow that data backup is a nice-to-have, let me offer you a piece of my mind. After verifying your computer still has the capacity to blink to life and successfully boot, the very next item on your agenda, before you even dream about checking your email or finding out who adorned your most recent social media rant, ought to be ensuring your data backup regime is functioning as intended. Because believe it or not, a digital gremlin is lurking around the corner, just waiting for the perfect moment to crash your party. If you've been shirking your backup duties and haven't kept your data's lifelines in pristine condition, don't come crying to your friendly neighborhood IT guru for help. In the harsh world of data loss, your neglect will be your undoing, and the blame lies squarely on your shoulders. Well, folks, it's time to pull the plug on another episode here at the Grumpy Sysadmin. Remember, friends, when it comes to backups, your procrastination is the only villain in this digital saga. So don't let your guard down, or the digital gremlins might just creep in and turn your data wonderland into a desolate wasteland. And while I've grumbled and griped my way through this session, let's not forget the real message here. The power to protect your data is at your fingertips. Yes, it's a bit like being a superhero, minus the cape and spandex. No need to thank me, just pay it forward by hitting that backup button. Before I vanish into the ether, remember to back up, and then when you're done with that, back up some more. Don't be that person crying over a crashed hard drive with all your memories lost to the abyss. Be the one smugly restoring their system and toasting to their foresight. From the deepest, grumpiest corners of the server room, this is your Grumpy Sysadmin signing off. Hit that like button, share with your fellow data guardians, and subscribe to keep this grumpy old text wizard in your feed. Until we meet again in the digital trenches, keep those backups updated and the coffee strong.